with the battery holder and the battery assembled, I'm going to bring that sub-assembly into the robot assembly and then put it onto the back location as shown. So here's the battery assembly. I want to turn off the visibility of the battery. It's going to make it much easier. The next thing I have to do is find out a way of putting these round holes onto the square holes of the frame of the robot. I'm going to use I-mates, which are 1/2 of an assembly constraint. In this case, an insert. So apply an I-mate on each of those holes. That will then match up to another I-mate on the frame. Again, noticing that I've turned off the visibility of the battery, and I'm going to leave that. I'm going to place that sub-assembly, my battery holder, put it towards the back, close to the location. So you'll want to move and rotate around until you get things into place. You can see when I select the battery holder now, the I-mates are displayed. They're going to match onto I-mates on the frame. Well, there's a lot of them, so we better make sure we get really close so we can select the correct I-mate. I like to take a few seconds here just to make sure that it's close enough. It's going to be in that location. Select the I-mate, hold down the Alt key, then release the Alt key when it's moving, and snap it onto the correct I-mate. That looks good. You can see it rotating around. For the second I-mate, I'm just going to move that, and again take a few seconds to set it up properly. The one I-mate on the battery holder is easy. You just want to eliminate all those other ones on the frame. So using the same workflow, grab the I-mate, hold down the Alt key, and select the matching I-mate. And it snaps nicely into place, which is a good clue that you've got the right one. So let's have a look at that. So the battery holder's in place, but obviously we need to add some screws and a caps nut. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. They're in the battery holder folder. I'll show you how to do one. Now we have to be a little careful here because there are a couple of edges which can be selected, and you want to make sure you get the right one. Again, putting it fairly close to where it's going. And we're going to go to the constrain, insert, and just be careful right here. You'll see there are two circular edges. There's the first one, there's the second one. It's the lower one you want. That's the flat face that mates onto the battery holder. Now we want to attach the caps nut on the back in that location. So I'll place that one caps nut. And again, make it fairly close to where you're going to assemble it. I'm going to rotate that around so I can see the flat face a little better. And then add the constraints. There's going to be two constraints in this case, between that flat face and the frame. I'll actually stop at that point, click OK so you can see what's happening. Obviously I need to add a constraint to center that. So we'll use the axis on the nut and the other axis. So that's completed. So that's the first one. The second one's the same workflow. So I've gone ahead and added the second one. You can see that right there. And now with my digital model, it's kind of handy to go ahead and start to look at what, if any, problems there are. Start by turning on the visibility of the battery, and then looking at the assembly that I've got. Looks pretty good, although there's something catching my eye up at the top there, right in there. Yeah, we've definitely got some interference there. So I'm guessing what it is that the location of the holes that I put in needs to be modified. So I'm going to make a note of that for any future design changes to the battery holder.